Rutgers football comes through in a big way on Saturday in the snow in East Lansing, dominating Michigan State 41-14 to earn its first winning regular season in 10 years and win its most Big Ten games in since joining the league in 2014, finishing 4-5 in conference play, 7-5 overall. And just major credit to this program, to Greg Schiano, to the players, everyone involved, to bounce back after such a gut-wrenching loss last week to Illinois. So much adversity this team has faced this year, to come out and dominate a team that's fighting for a bowl bid. Michigan State 5-6. If they won, they would have earned bowl eligibility in Jonathan Smith's first year as head coach. And Rutgers just really punched him in the mouth and just kept punching him. And it was just great to see this team dominate, not just win, but dominate, impose their will in the snow against a cold weather team. And they went out, and it was just, so many great contributions in this game. I thought, just in terms of Cal McManus's game management, the way that Shiraka called some of the pass plays, they didn't let this snow. They didn't throw a ton, but they were really effective at times. He threw 13-22, 157 yards, a touchdown, 59% completion rate, no turnovers. He had some really big completions to Demir Miller in that first drive to open the second half. KJ Duff, a couple of key catches in the start drives, also that 2-point conversion. Ian Strong had some big catches, including the touchdown. And Ben Black had that big pass play down the field that led to a touchdown. So all four receivers that caught balls in this game had big plays. And in terms of overall, I thought the key was it was Rutgers that, they got that gift at the 2-yard line. They only got the field goal. It was 10-7. Michigan State drives deep. They're inside the 10-yard line, and Michigan State fails to convert on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Rutgers holds them, gets the ball back on their own 6-yard line. That was just such a huge turning point in the game when that happened. That was, 3rd and 2 on the 7. And Nate Carter rushed for 1 yard only. They went for it on 4th and 1. K'Ron Lynch Adams, the old Rutgers player, no gain. Jabome and Flip Dixon on the hit, and Rutgers gets the ball back. There's 10 minutes to go in the first half. Rutgers is up 10-7 on their own 6, and they go down all the way the field and score a touchdown. Again, first play of that drive, Cal McManus to KJ Duff. Then Monungai rushed for the first down. There was a big pass interference play on Ian Strong that moved the ball. Monungai, 2 rushes for 8 yards before a big 18-yard gain, getting down to the 46 across midfield, and then that 33-yard pass to Ben Black in the snow. Great call from Shiraka there on second and first and 10, and went for it and got them down to the 13. And then Antoine Raymond with a huge run up the middle scores for Rutgers. That was the turning point in the game, giving Rutgers a 17-7 lead. And then, hey, let's credit Jay Patel here, field goal kicker, 4 of 4 in this game. And had 2 big ones in the final 2:17 of the game. Had a 42-yarder with 1:17 left in the half. And then Rutgers got a stop, went down, got in field goal range. Credit to them. There was a holding call on Michigan State there. A lot of penalties and mistakes from Michigan State in this game. But Monungai had a couple big, he had a 14-yarder run in this drive. And Patel kicked a 30-yarder. They went up 23-7 at the half. They come out of halftime with the ball, and they put together a 7.5-minute drive. Again, first play of that drive, Cal McManus to Duff. Love that call. Then Monungai had an 8-yard run, and Miller had 3 catches on the drive. Strong had a big catch, and then he had the touchdown catch. So in between some Monungai runs there, and overall, that was the knockout blow. They went for a 2-point conversion, KJ Duff catching that. All of a sudden, you're 31-7. 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Michigan State was done. That was the fork that ended the game there. I love the play calling, the aggressiveness, and just the balance. And Rutgers really came to play defensively. Like I said, that big stop, in the second quarter really took the air out of the Michigan State offense. And not much from the Michigan State offense, just 253 total yards from them. Rutgers 365. 208 rushing yards this game, but penalties was big. Michigan State, 7 penalties, 70 yards. Rutgers just 2 for 20, 23 first downs at 13 for Michigan State. Third and fourth down conversions, Rutgers 8 of 14, very efficient there. Michigan State just 3 of 12. 22 more plays run by the Rutgers offense. Average yards per play, the same, 5.2 versus 5.3. But Rutgers just had the ball a lot more, 35.08 time of possession. Red zone, 7 of 7. Michigan State just 1 of 2. Michigan State did have the turnover. Rutgers had no turnovers. And overall just played clean, complimentary football, dominant football for Rutgers. Let's see special teams. How did Anderson do? Yeah, he just had 1 punt, 43 yards. The Aussie, first time ever in the snow. They were talking about it on the radio with Adam Korsak talking about how he would handle the snow. Didn't have many opportunities to have to deal with it. And but his 1 punt was good. But overall for this program, I mean, this is just a big win. They showed progress this season. It wasn't the progress that we all hoped they would. It wasn't 8 or more wins. You had some missed opportunities and losses against Nebraska, UCLA, and Illinois. You also had some close wins against Virginia Tech, against Washington, that come from behind win over Minnesota, that come from behind win that pulling away against Maryland. So there were some good moments. There were some frustrating moments. October, was really tough. They've dealt with a ton of injuries this season. All in all, you had to show progress. 7-5 had to be a minimum for this season, and they got there. They got their 4 Big Ten wins. Last week's going to sting just because 8-4, 5-4 in the Big Ten, probably a good chance at the Citrus Bowl. That hurts. You can't deny that. But at the same time, this team came out banged up, a lot of players out, and they showed out in a big way. You have to give credit to the coaching staff, to Schiano, to the players for doing that. I think they're onto something with Khalif Manis. He is a reliable quarterback. He's not dynamic. He's not a top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten, but he is a winning quarterback. And he's made a lot of winning plays for this program the last 2 months of the season. And it was great to see defensively, just in terms of Jerome had a sack. Jordan Walker had another sack. Bo Mascow had that interception. You had, in terms of leading tackle was Jerome, but a lot of tackles, like a lot of guys with 4 to 7 tackles tonight in this game. Tackles for loss, Walker had 1.5. So he had a half on top of that. But overall, this team really stepped up in a big way for this game. And they really just, hammered Michigan State, never made it close. So there you go. I mean, they're going to go to a bowl game. I don't think it's going to be a great bowl game. I know there's some petitioning for the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte. It's not, I don't even know if they're going to get Detroit. It might be the Boca Raton game or the guaranteed rate in Arizona. I mean, warm locations would be nice, but not great bowl games in terms of prestige. You would have hoped. I mean, the Music City Bowl is a good bowl. The Citrus Bowl. I mean, if Rutgers could have won 8, 9 games and gone to one of those bowl games, that would have been a clear major progress season. This is not that, and that's disappointing, right? But at the same time, this team showed some resiliency. They showed the character of the program, and they bounced back when things were not looking good. And it was fair to question whether this team would play well tonight after the tough loss against Illinois, the way in which it happened. So overall, big steps there. Also, hey, good game from Antoine Raymond today. 9 carries, 71 yards, 7.9 yards per carry. Showed you something, had 2 touchdowns. Complimentary to Manungai, who's a workhorse once again, 31 carries, 129 yards, touchdown, 4.2 yards in average. We'll go through it this week with overall stats and seasons and in terms of stats. But Ian Strong continuing to emerge, 4 catches, 55 yards a touch. Demir Miller, 4 catches, 48. Duff, 4 catches, 21 yards. Did have that 2-point conversion. Ben Black had that 1 catch, but that was a big one. Good to see him hang in there this year. He's had some ups and downs. That was great to see him do that. And then overall, I mean, they held Michigan State offense pretty much in check. And I think if you look at November, again, they had that heartbreaker against Illinois, but they played really good football overall. They showed a leap in terms of the offense, and the defense came together and played better more times than not after a pretty rough October. So there's a lot to feel good about here. There's a lot to feel that there was left on the table. But at the same time, where this season seemed like it might be heading, they averted disaster. They averted decline. They diverted not making progress. They did all that. Even 6-6 would have been disappointing, right? You did 7-5, your first winning season, regular season in a decade. That's important. That's a step forward. You got your most Big Ten wins ever, 4. That's a step forward. So can they build off it? Can they win a bowl game? Win 8 games, first time in 10 years? That would be progress. And for this senior class, it's just great to see them pull this out and play the way they wish they'd played today. So big win for Rutgers football. We'll see what happens with the bowl matchup. We'll see. It looks like they're going to shake out. They were picked to finish 9th. They're going to finish tied for 9th with USC, who did beat them head to head. And then Washington is looking like they're going to lose to Oregon. So you beat them. So they kind of finished where they were projected to finish. I think the over-under for wins, I know the over-under for wins in Vegas was like 6.5. They got the 7 wins. So listen, they made the progress you wanted to make at a minimum. They did it, right? This isn't the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they fell short in certain areas, but with all they've been through, you have to credit this program for sticking through it and overcoming adversity. And overall, with an exclamation point too, the way they won this game. And man, I picked them to go 4-4, and I picked them to win out in November. And how close I was. That would have been fun. But at any rate, again, big win for Rutgers. I love the way Cal McManus is playing. I so much more confidence in him. He is playing winning football. And his stat sheet might not be the most, beautiful stat sheet in the world. By the way, no drops today from the Rutgers receivers, at least but per stats broadcast. That's impressive. And overall, this team has now that very key extra part of the season to get practice time in, to develop younger players, which is going to be so important for next season, really important for this program. So that's key as well. And just good vibes to finish the season, to finish strong, to have that rough October, go 3-1 in November. You have a chance to win a bowl game here. This is important to what they did for this season. And with recruiting up, Schiano entering year 6, there's another step to make, but certainly they made a step this season. It was great to see it on full display against Michigan State on Saturday. Thanks so much for listening and watching once again here at the Scarlet Faithful podcast.